For years, football fans asked the same painful question: what would Erling Haaland look like at the World Cup? Goals in the Champions League, records in the Premier League, but no World Cup stage. No global football moment for Norway's monster striker until 2026, and when Haaland finally arrived, the entire football world stopped watching everyone else. For most football superstars, the World Cup arrives early in their careers, but for Erling Haaland, the wait felt endless. Year after year, Norway failed to return to football's biggest stage. Fans wondered if the world would ever see Haaland at a World Cup. Then finally, 2026 changed everything forever. Norway entered qualification carrying enormous pressure. One of the world's deadliest strikers was desperate for a World Cup opportunity. Every match suddenly felt historic for Norwegian football, and Haaland carried the expectations of an entire nation on his shoulders. This was bigger than football now, it was national belief. By 2026, Haaland had already become one of football's most terrifying forwards. Defenders feared his speed, strength, movement, and brutal finishing ability. Week after week, he destroyed records across Europe, but critics still said one thing was missing from his legacy: the World Cup. When Norway arrived for World Cup 2026, cameras followed Haaland everywhere. Fans packed stadiums hoping to witness his first appearance on football's biggest stage. The pressure surrounding him became enormous instantly. Every headline asked the same question: could Haaland dominate the World Cup too? And deep down, everyone wanted to know the answer. Then the moment finally arrived. Erling Haaland stepped onto the World Cup pitch wearing Norway's colors. The stadium erupted the second he touched the ball for the first time. Defenders immediately realized this was a completely different level of pressure, and within minutes, Haaland already looked terrifying. Something changed the moment Haaland entered the tournament. Norway no longer looked like underdogs afraid of bigger nations. His presence alone gave the entire squad confidence and aggression. Every counterattack suddenly felt dangerous with Haaland leading the front line, and football fans around the world started paying attention fast. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting years to see. Haaland attacked the box with perfect timing as Norway pushed forward. One powerful finish later, the net exploded behind the goalkeeper. The stadium erupted as Erling Haaland scored his first World Cup goal, and suddenly, Norway's dream felt real. But the World Cup pressure was completely different from club football. Every mistake became global news instantly. Opponents defended Haaland with fear and desperation at the same time. Double marking, physical tackles, non-stop pressure. Defenders threw everything at him, yet Haaland kept demanding the ball again and again. Before 2026, Haaland was already Norway's superstar, but during the World Cup, he became something bigger, a true leader. Teammates followed his intensity and fearless mentality every match. Fans saw him fighting for every ball like the tournament meant everything to him, and Norway started believing they could shock the football world completely. Then Norway faced one of football's biggest nations. For Haaland, this was the ultimate test of his World Cup arrival. The stadium atmosphere felt brutal, loud, and unforgettable. Millions watched to see whether Haaland could dominate elite international defenders too, and he looked ready for the biggest challenge of his career. The match quickly turned into a physical war. Defenders pushed, pulled, and surrounded Haaland every time he touched the ball, but stopping him completely felt almost impossible. His strength and movement constantly created panic inside the opposition defense, and every Norway attack carried dangerous energy because of him. For years, some critics questioned whether Haaland could truly perform internationally. Club football dominance was one thing, but the World Cup was different. Yet under football's brightest lights, Haaland refused to disappear. He played with hunger, aggression, and ruthless confidence every minute, and slowly, the criticism started fading away. Then came one of the tournament's wildest moments. Haaland intercepted the ball high up the pitch and exploded forward instantly. Defenders scrambled desperately trying to stop him before it was too late. One devastating strike later, the entire stadium erupted into chaos. Norway had their superstar moment at the World Cup. But Haaland's impact wasn't only about scoring anymore. He pressed defenders relentlessly and inspired belief throughout the entire squad. Every teammate seemed to play with more courage around him. Norway suddenly looked fearless against football's biggest nations, and the world started respecting them differently because of Haaland's presence. By now, football fans everywhere understood something clearly: Erling Haaland wasn't simply a club football phenomenon anymore. He belonged on the World Cup stage just like the game's greatest superstars before him. The goals, the pressure, the intensity, he embraced all of it completely, and this tournament was transforming his legacy forever. Norway had already shocked the football world by reaching the later stages, but now the pressure became almost unbearable. One defeat would end the greatest Norwegian football run in decades instantly, yet Haaland looked calmer and more focused than ever before. He knew history was suddenly within reach. As Haaland touched the ball, the entire stadium reacted differently now. Defenders backed away carefully, terrified of giving him even half a chance. Fans stood up every time Norway attacked through him. The energy around Haaland felt unstoppable and dangerous. It was the exact atmosphere every World Cup superstar dreams about. Officially, Haaland may not have worn the captain's armband every match, but emotionally, he had already become Norway's leader completely. His intensity pushed teammates beyond their limits under pressure. Every sprint and every duel showed how much this tournament meant to him. Norway followed his mentality into battle fearlessly. Then came the moment football fans would replay for years. Haaland broke through the defensive line with perfect timing and explosive speed. One touch, one finish, and the stadium exploded into pure madness. Commentators screamed his name as Norway moved closer to football immortality. At that moment, Haaland officially announced himself to World Cup history. Suddenly, the impossible no longer felt impossible for Norway. Fans across the country started believing in miracles again. Haaland stood at the center of a dream nobody thought could happen. Every match now carried emotional weight far beyond football itself, and the pressure surrounding him became bigger than ever before. The semi-final atmosphere felt suffocating from the very first minute. Norway stood only one step away from football immortality. Every tackle, every chance, every mistake carried enormous consequences now. Haaland fought like a man refusing to let the dream end, and millions watched wondering if history was about to happen. Late in the match, Norway needed one magical moment desperately. Haaland received the ball surrounded by defenders instantly, but greatness appears exactly when pressure becomes unbearable. One explosive movement changed the entire game in seconds, and the stadium erupted as Haaland delivered another unforgettable World Cup moment. Before World Cup 2026, Erling Haaland was already a global football icon, but this tournament transformed him into something even bigger for Norway. He carried the hopes of an entire nation onto football's biggest stage fearlessly. Fans would remember these moments for generations, and Haaland's World Cup story had officially become legendary. Whether Norway wins the World Cup or not, everything changed after this tournament. Haaland finally proved he belonged among football's greatest international stars. The world saw his goals, leadership, intensity, and hunger under the brightest pressure possible. From years of waiting to unforgettable World Cup nights, and maybe this was only the beginning of Erling Haaland's greatest football story yet. For years, football fans wondered what Erling Haaland would look like at the World Cup. In 2026, they finally got their answer: goals, pressure, chaos, leadership. Haaland brought everything that makes football unforgettable onto the world's biggest stage. From carrying Norway's dreams to creating moments fans will replay forever, this tournament changed his international legacy completely. And maybe the scariest part for the football world is this: Erling Haaland might only be getting started. If you enjoyed this football documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Can Haaland lead Norway to future World Cup glory? For years, football fans wondered what Erling Haaland would look like at the World Cup. In 2026, they finally got their answer: goals, pressure, chaos, leadership. Haaland brought everything that makes football unforgettable onto the world's biggest stage. From carrying Norway's dreams to creating moments fans will replay forever, this tournament changed his international legacy completely. And maybe the scariest part for the football world is this: Erling Haaland might only be getting started. If you enjoyed this football documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Can Haaland lead Norway to future World Cup glory?